Well guys, we're on the countdown to spring now, and if you know me, I'm chomping at the bit for those cool April mornings to get here. 2021 was a great season. From youth weekend all the way through the final days of late season, it just seemed to be an action-packed spring filled with turkeys that just wanted to die. So last winter I made plans to head to Washington State in the spring, and boy was it worth the haul. I had heard good things about turkey hunting in the Evergreen state, and I can assure you it did not disappoint. So in late April I made my way to a little area north of Spokane, Washington, and as you can see there's a whole lot of nothing around there, and turkeys just love these type of areas. After rendezvousing with Sparky, owner of Joker's Wild Outfitter, we started out at a block of woods that you'd have thought was just overrun with turkeys. The turkeys were just being turkeys though, and we didn't hear a peep for our first stop. So we got in the truck and started cruising around some of the hilly gravel roads of northeast Washington, and it wasn't long till we found what we were looking for. It was just a matter now of seeing if they would play along. We glassed a pair of toms in a pasture and made an approach from higher ground on them. When we first set up at an old home site, I was a bit leery sitting down that I might get an up-close look at some of the local reptilian life. Now from this setup, the gobblers responded good to us, but it seemed that they were just holding tight where we had first seen them. I've often seen where sometimes though just closing that distance just a little bit more makes all the difference, and that was certainly the case with these toms. So we made a short 60-yard move along the hill at a slight quartering toward angle, and the birds quickly committed to us. Within a few minutes of getting set up there and getting resituated, I spotted two longbeards behind a fence row. I could have easily punched both of my tags and been finished in Washington pretty much before it all got started good. Now these birds were on fire and less than 40 yards away with no clue that we were even there, and there was just one little problem. This corner post was the border of Sparky's permission here, and we needed them longbeards to step on either side of the fence right here, and they just wouldn't do it. Sparky crawled out there and did some flashing with the fan at one point, and we were just certain that they'd lock on and commit, but funny how turkeys just know where them property lines are. So after a bit those birds made their way on, and we knew we had lost our chance for them for the time being anyways.
I can see his head looking at us right through that damn fence. And if you look right above where that hole is, it says no hunting. Two of them came on our side, just not the toms. No, they were right here in that corner. They must have smelled me. Yep.
Now right here when I cracked this joke to Sparky about the turkeys smelling me, I think that he thought I was serious about that, and I didn't get the response that I was looking for. So anyways, we moved on and wound up back closer to where we had started out earlier in the morning. It was probably about 10 a.m. and we had already worked about 4 different birds with varying interest levels. It wasn't long, however, where we again struck a bird, and this one here was ripe for the picking.
He's in there a bit. Well, he's right across the canyon. Give him a call.
This was one of those textbook hunts that started and stopped within 15 or 20 minutes of getting out of the truck. After we located the tom and made a couple of short setups, it was no time before I saw him meandering our way. After he committed, I was a bit worried that he'd want to hang up tight on that other ridge that was opposite of us and just wait for us to close that distance, but he kept squirreling around, slowly making his way closer and closer to me. I threw him a little bit of sweet talk and then fired him up after I got his temperature up and told him something a little bit more saucy at this point, and then it was on, buddy. His contemplation mode was over. He was coming to see what was up, and that was that. Of course, those last moments after he dropped into the bottom, he was deathly quiet, and I could hear an occasional footstep or rustle of the leaves, and I was worried that he'd come up hard on my off shoulder, not presenting me with a shot, so I was contemplating making a shift at the base of the tree. As he made his final approach up that hill in front of me, those white Merriam tips looked like a sunrise just coming up over that ridge. I could watch the film on it 100 times and never relive the feeling it gives you to experience such as this. Over the years, I've learned that when you get a good shot, you take it, and that's just what I did.
Another one just gobbled. Hooks too.
That is a bird, boy.
Yes, sir. Look at that big old head.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous. Let's yeah, show me them hooks while we're here. Let's get him tagged up before we get out of here. And then we're gonna just drop down the hill a little bit to get an interview because of the wind. But boy,
look at that.
How was that? And you did it all. I didn't call once.
Well,
I think I called originally when we sat. I just said, let's call one time here. Or no, I didn't, did I? Did I box call there?
I think you located him.
Okay.
At the original.
Oh, and the bird off to the right gobbled.
Yeah, at the gunshot.
And then I told you to call, and that bird gobbled.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, because originally we got up there. I called, the bird to the right gobbled. I said, why don't you try calling? And this bird gobbled. So I never called to him.
So I got this fella tagged, and we were on to see if I could punch another tag. As a turkey hunter, there's just something special about heading west in the spring. The birds are plentiful, and there's usually lots of room to move around.
Guys, I've killed a lot of turkeys, and this one ranks up there. This is a awesome ass hunt right here. Set up once and then decided to close the distance a little bit, and we moved in a little bit and got on another little top where it opened up, and we got set up, and we started calling to him. Within like 5-10 minutes we could tell he was closer, and then next thing you know, I saw him strutting on the opposite ridge, and pretty deep bottom. I was surprised he was going to come through it, but next thing you know, I saw him commit. He come down in the bottom, and I almost took a shot at him at probably around like 50 yards, but I decided to wait, and I'm glad I did, because he come up on that ridge, and these white tips on this fan, it looked like a sunrise coming up, and I couldn't have asked for a better hunt right here. First day in Washington. So y'all stay tuned. I still got a tag in my pocket.
So if you're looking for a great experience in Washington State, my man Sparky can get you on some spring action real quick like.